All right, so we're here today to go over the old pre-connect loads and the new ones. So we're gonna go from 2 and 4 versus first fold at 50, second fold at 100. Right now the load is loaded to exactly what we have on a normal basis. And we're gonna watch and we'll go ahead and record one of our firemen pulling that hose until the bed clears and just show you how far the distance is between the original normal pull load and our new proposed load that we're gonna switch to. And we'll show you all those pulls plus 2 other extra ones. So he's just gonna grab it standard. I didn't have him deviate, I don't want him to pull anything. I just want him to pull it straight out and just see how far it takes. And then we'll record it again and we'll show you on the next. Oh, so you can see where he's at there. And we'll load it and we'll do it again, the new one. All right, so you've already seen how the hose was pulled originally, so now we're gonna load it the new style. So the first fold will be at the second fold, same, start in the back, and then the second fold will be on the fourth fold, will be the fourth fold on the front. So same way, work from back to front. So here's our first fold at the rear. First fold in the front. Now the second fold in the rear will be our first loop. So we're going to do first loop. Find yourself a marker that you can do. Make them the same length. I like to use these brass doors. Chrome doors, I should say. Second fold in the front. Fourth fold front. And this will be, the fourth fold will be our third loop. Our second loop, sorry. So you can see second fold where the second fold would be and the fourth fold would be where our loops are. Then we'll continue to load it the same way. And again, second fold, first loop, 1, 2, 3, fourth fold will be the second loop, forward loop. You can see it's a little bit short, so the bed will clear on this first pull a lot easier. Also in context with the new loading, we're gonna do the number 2 pre-connect will be 200 feet versus 150, and the number 1 pre-connect will remain 150. All right, so like we did with the first one, with the original load, it'll be the same pre-connect. Number 2, the one we just loaded, the new style, we're gonna pull our standard way, which is straight out. We'll just see how much farther, or how much closer to the engine he will be when the bed clears. And that will help us in a smaller spot be able to maneuver a little bit better. And we'll also show 2 other options in tight quarters of how to pull that pre-connect without having to have a bunch of spaghetti on the ground. So it took about, I don't know, 10-15 feet off. A little bit stronger, but he also clears the bed almost automatically every time he pulls it. So we'll go ahead and we'll load it again, and we'll show you 2 other options of how to pull this hose. That will, depending on the situation. One will be the freeway pull, which obviously if we have a limited amount of area on the roadway, we can pull it alongside the engine by using 2 personnel, whether it's captain or fireman. And then we'll also do a shoulder load, which is for if you have a lot of obstacles that you need to work around, you can put it over your shoulder and pay it off as you go. All right, so the next pull we're gonna do is the freeway pull. And this is the new load, you can see that. It's gonna be, the first fold is on the second loop, and the second fold, or the front fold, rear fold, front fold is on the fourth loop. This is exactly the same. We're always gonna build towards the rear, and the first loop will always be towards the rear, and the front loop will always be in the front. The second loop will always be towards the front. Just like our old ones, except for where the placement of the loop's at, 2 and 4. That'll also remain same on a 200 footer and the 150. So the only thing that's changing is where the loop is in relation, so that should clear the bed out sooner. The next one we're going to be doing is a freeway pull. What we found out that works better is if the fireman, whoever's got the rear loop, determines that. If it's the captain should take the front one. It works out a little bit better. That we've noticed is that if you take, the nozzleman takes the rear loop and heads towards the rear, and the captain takes the front loop and goes to the front. If you do it the opposite, it'll work, but you tend to fight the guy with the nozzle with the front loop when the rear loop guy pulls real hard. So you could actually throw somebody off balance, I noticed. So if you do it that way because the fire is that direction, that's fine, just be cognizant of that. So right now I'm gonna have two guys pull these, and I'm gonna have that rear loop fireman grab the nozzle, and the front loop fireman's head to the front, and they're gonna pull out a little bit and then alongside the engine. That way it gives you, alongside the freeway, thus the name, you get the hose close to the engine and it pays it out, and that way when you go ahead and charge it, you won't have all this mumbo jumbo all over the place. And you'll stay out of the roadway. Oh. Okay, as you can see on the last one on the freeway pull, the firefighters pulled on tension at the same time. The guy in the rear with the nozzle loop, or the rear loop with the nozzle, paid out at the same time. It's close to the engine, only a little bit farther than the length of the engine, so it's pretty good consolidation for the hose, and it was nice and flaked out. It's a little bit more compact compared to our current load. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna do one more, and you can see the hose is loaded like the new load. We're gonna do this time, we're gonna do a flip. We're basically gonna take the load and flip it over, and we're gonna pay it out over the shoulder. That'll just, in the case we had either several obstacles, a limited space next to the engine, or we're going to maybe a garden style apartment. So just make sure everybody has a different pre-connect hose pulls depending on their situation. So you can see on that last one for the over the shoulder load, kind of pulls it out by the loops. Go ahead and pull your loops out, pull it out, and then you can either flip it back on your shoulder. A lot of guys will flip it and rotate it over, much like Brad did, and then just hold it down like you would a pre-connect till the first loop grabs and the bed's clear, and then just pay it off your shoulder like you normally would. But the key is to get it upside down so that way you can pay it off the top and the nozzle's close to your shoulder, just like anything we do when we shoulder load. So those are the three loads. That was the new hose style loading. You guys have any questions, feel free to contact any of your training captains, and happy hose pulling.